So what is a franchise? A franchise is a type of license that grants a franchisee access to a franchisor's proprietary business knowledge, processes, and trademarks, thus allowing the franchisee to sell a product or a service under the franchisor's business name. In franchise, the franchisee usually pays the franchisees an initial startup fee and an annual licensing fee. So now, let's differentiate a franchisor from a franchisee. So a franchisor, they are the creator of a franchise, such as McDonald's, Mag-Inasal, and etc., who enables the franchisee to Easy Breed to use the successful business formula to exchange for an initial fee and a cut profits. So, well, the franchisee is the person or the company who was paid to become part of a franchise. So, there are different franchising business company in the Philippines, such as Potato Corner, Master Siomai, Siomai House, 7-Eleven, Dunkin' Donuts, Choose to Go, Jollibee, Mang Inasal, McDonald's, and so many more. So, I will tell to you the different pros and cons of having a franchising business. So, the first pro is franchises comes with a ready-made business plan. So it means if you want to start up a business but you don't relish the process of crafting a business plan, choosing what to sell, decorating your store, and all of the above, so franchise might be a good option for you. So the second pro is starting a franchise can make it easier to secure financing. So it means that some franchise business have their own financing arm, meaning that they provide loans of people who wants to buy and open a franchise. The third pro is franchises are less risky than independent businesses. So it means if you buy a franchise, you already know that the product is successful. It has a brand recognition for one thing. The fourth pro is it is easier to get advice about a franchise. If it means that if you're considering becoming, so we knew na about the different pros. So let's proceed to the cons. So the first con is franchises can come with a high startup cost. So it means starting a franchise might involve higher startup cost that you would incur if you started an independent small business. The second con is you have a less flexibility with a franchise. It means when you become a franchisee, you have to abide by the rules of the franchisor and keep the terms of licensing agreement. So the third con is franchise fees can really add up. So it means franchises don't let you take their logo and run with it. You owe fees to the business from which you buy the franchise. The last but not the least, the fourth con. So it means that the fate of your business isn't entirely in your control. So it means franchises benefits from the brand recognition of the company whose franchise they buy. But they are also vulnerable in public turns against the brand. For example, if the public doesn't agree or bashes that company, it will also reflect to you as a franchisee to that franchise.
So we will now proceed to joint ventures. What is joint ventures? This involves two or more businesses pooling their resources and expertise to achieve a particular goal. It was formed to have a business expansion, development of new products, or moving into new markets, particularly overseas. These joint ventures can give a business more resources, greater capacity, increase in technical expertise, and access to established markets and distribution channels. So, a joint venture can also be very flexible. For example, a joint venture can have a limited lifespan and only cover part of what you do, thus limiting the commitment for both parties and the business exposure. So one of the risks of joint ventures is when partnering with another business can be complex and takes time and effort to build the right relationship. Problems are likely to arise if the objectives of the venture are not 100% clear and communicated to everyone. Second, there is an imbalance in levels of expertise, investment, or assets brought into the venture by the different partners. And lastly, the partners don't provide sufficient leadership and support in early stages.
So let's proceed to the last. What is licensing? Anyone? So the licensing is defined as a business arrangement wherein a company authorizes another company by issuing a license to temporary access and intellectual property rights, manufacturing process, brand name, copyright, trademarks, patents, technology, trade secrets, and etc. So the example of licenses includes a company using the design of a popular character, for example, Mickey Mouse. So another example would be a clothing manufacturer like Life is Good, licensing its design and brand in a certain country to a local company.
So now we will tackle about the advantage and disadvantage of having a license in the business or licensing. So we will now first tackle about the advantage. First, you will not need to incur the cost of producing, promoting, packaging, or selling your product. Second, the license already has knowledge and know how to as it pertains to breaking into an already established market, so there is no risk for you. Depending on the terms of your agreement, your royalty payments can last a very long time. So now, we will now tackle about the disadvantage of having a license. First, you will likely lose control over your product, including promotion, packaging, and selling. Second, you will only receive portion of the profits from the sale of your product as outlined in your agreement. And lastly, if your product does not sell well, you will not receive royalty payments, or it may take a while until you receive a payment.